Hi everyone, it's Taylor. Welcome back to my channel. I'm an American expat living in Malaysia, and I like to share my life and travels with you. Well, all of you are probably aware of the devastating hurricane that happened near my condo in Florida last week. What do you do when disaster strikes and you're 9,000 miles away? Well, I tell you what I did. Sound interesting? Stay tuned. Well, as a Florida boy, I'm used to hurricanes, having experienced many in my lifetime. But I wasn't prepared for the devastation caused by Hurricane Helene last week. Oh my gosh. I usually don't worry at all about it because nothing ever happens to my condo. But when I started seeing the reports and the pictures, I was horrified. Hurricane Helene was the most destructive hurricane in my hometown in over 100 years. The Tampa Bay area, where I'm from, traditionally doesn't get that many hurricanes. Well, they come close, but usually not that close. But things have changed, and they're getting more and more, which is very worrisome. In fact, no area of Florida seems safe anymore. First of all, I want to assure everyone that my condo in Clearwater sustained no damage from the storm. Thank goodness. Now, I know you all probably thought I already sold it, but I haven't, unfortunately. So I really feel blessed that my condo didn't sustain any damage. But sadly, I can't say the same for my childhood home in Madeira Beach, Florida. As you can see in this picture here, it's directly on the beach. And anything on the beach got at least 4 to 6 or 8 feet of flooding on the first floor. So for the first time since that house was built, it has some major damage. Now, we had minor damage before, but nothing like this. I'm sure the whole first floor has been flooded. I feel really sad for the new owners. I really hope that they didn't sustain too much damage. But this brought to mind when you live 9,000 miles away from your home. Emergencies and disasters can be very stressful and complicated. Also, living 9,000 miles away makes it difficult for me to participate in joyous occasions too. I was unable to attend my lovely niece Emily's wedding a couple years ago, or maybe a year ago, I'm not sure. And also recently the birth of her first child. Those things would be fun to go to, but sadly, it's just too far to make it practical. Unfortunately, because my travel home is so arduous, 30 hours usually, and I can't afford business class, unfortunately. Well, maybe you can buy me enough coffees for a business class ticket, but seriously, no. So basically, I can only go home in emergencies, and that's sad. This is obviously something to think about if you're considering moving far away from your home. Sure, technology allows us to keep in touch with people much better than in the past, but there's nothing like seeing people in person, and I just can't do it. Luckily, some of my friends and family have visited me here in Malaysia. And unfortunately, it's probably a disaster or a death I'm going to return for, sadly. So I'm really sorry to miss all the happy occasions. But that's the price I pay to live in a beautiful country like Malaysia and have an easy, retired life. Some of you may recall a few years ago when I was vacationing on Langkawi with my friend Jill, I got an email from my sister Liz. She had gone to check on my condo after yet another hurricane and found it was filled with black mold. Well, that was the worst news ever. It didn't have anything to do with the hurricane, however. Thank goodness my sister Liz was there to get the mold remediation process started, because I don't know what I would have done, or even when I would have discovered it if she wasn't there. Now, I have tenants in there now, so it's not likely to happen again. But when you have a place that's just sitting empty, you better have people check on it. So anyway, she got the mold remediation started, and I made plans to go back. Well, it was a long process. They had to rip out walls and everything, and then I had to find a contractor. Oh my goodness, I was there 6 weeks getting it done. And because of this, I had decided after that that I was just going to rent it out so it wouldn't just sit there empty. It all got taken care of, but it was very stressful and expensive. I think about $30,000. Unfortunately, my insurance didn't cover anything. Does it ever? I'm glad I haven't had any other emergencies that warranted me going back. And I was really relieved when my tenants let me know that my condo was just fine and they were fine, more importantly. Although I really do consider Malaysia my home, my permanent home, I still have a special place in my heart for my hometown, as everyone does, I think. My advice to anyone thinking of moving overseas is to make sure you've got somebody nearby in your home, or if you have property there, to keep an eye on things. It's really important and relieves the stress tremendously. It also helps to keep my stress in check that I live in a place that is not prone to natural disasters. No hurricanes here, or earthquakes for that matter. Now, there is a lot of rain and flooding, but so far that hasn't affected me, and I think that Malaysia is pretty used to having flooding now and then. But that doesn't make it any less hard for the people that experience it. But like I said, luckily Malaysia is not affected by hurricanes or earthquakes, so that's a really good thing. You might look into this if you're thinking about moving to another country. Do they have a lot of earthquakes, hurricanes, typhoons? Oh, any number of things could spoil your new home. There may not be many natural disasters here in Malaysia, but like all of you know, it is really hot. But it's not always hot. I don't think people realize that there's quite a fluctuation of the temperature. Yeah, it can be pretty hot, 90 degrees or more. But like right now, I'm sitting here, here's the temperature. What do you think? That's not so bad. I've got the windows open, no aircon on, and I rarely sleep with aircon. I'll put a few of these up here so you can see the different temperatures that I've experienced lately and how it's not that bad. So if the heat's the only thing I have to worry about, I can live with that. I'm talking about this today because I want you to know that if you live really, really far from home, it's not always stress-free. But for some things, like renewing a passport or voting, that's pretty easy. I got a new passport last year, and all I had to do was go down to the American Embassy in Kuala Lumpur, fill out a form, and within a week I had my new passport. I think that's amazing. Also, voting is very simple. As you know, I vote in Florida. So Florida emails me a ballot. I print it out, fill it out, and then fax it back. Or you can also mail it, but I feel more comfortable faxing it. It seems more secure. Now, they don't let you email it, but that's fine. And then, after a couple days, you can check back and see that they've received it and that your vote has been counted. That's so important. Now, I really don't ever talk about politics on my channel for obvious reasons. I don't want to alienate people or cause fights in the comments. But I just want to say to my American viewers that it is so important that you vote this time. This, I think, is one of the most important elections in my lifetime, and I'm certainly going to vote. And I hope you do too. I encourage everyone to vote. Although most of you can guess who I'm voting for, that's not the important thing. The important thing is that you vote. I will give you a little clue. I am voting for the candidate who thinks climate change is real. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now. You know, I don't like to talk about bad things or negative things, but it's important to think about every aspect of moving to another country when you retire. The distance is very important, and I know a lot of people prefer to retire maybe in Mexico or something if they're from the US, because it's just not that far away. But I do want to say that my heart goes out to everyone who was affected by Hurricane Helene, and I do hope that everything gets sorted out soon. I'm sorry to say that this certainly won't be the last hurricane in Florida, but with strength and perseverance, I hope the state can continue to thrive and grow. I also wanted to tell you that I recently started the renewal process for my MM2H visa here in Malaysia. I'm so fortunate that the original terms that I had are grandfathered in. Otherwise, I might be moving and leaving you all. But I'm going to go through the whole process with you when it's done and let you know how easy or hard it was. I'm so grateful that I get to stay in Malaysia. As you all know, Malaysia is my forever home. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. And check the notification bell too. That way you won't miss any of my future content. Also, as you know, I have Buy Me a Coffee now, so you can directly support my channel. I appreciate that so much. But that's all I have for today, everyone. I'm sorry it wasn't a more happy topic, but sometimes you have to talk about serious things. And I am so grateful that everything is okay with my home in Florida. But that's it for today, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye.
Get